I need to start my presentation. The topic is Today's topic is adapting policies for effective collaborative AI integration in EFL, ESL teacher education. If we look at how do we adapt the policies and how do we integrate, it's all about integration and effective collaboration. So if I have to talk about strategies for crafting and implementing policy that enhance collaborative AI use in English language teaching environment, I'll have to talk about all the stakeholders, those who are involved in its implementation, policy drafting, also how to enhance collaborative AI use in English language teaching environments. Basically, I'll focus my session on EFL, ESL learning landscape environment, and will deliberate upon how best we can employ and collaborate worldwide, institution-wise, and also all around the online applications or whatever platforms we're using. So artificial intelligence is actually transforming the landscape of EFL and ESL education by providing innovative tools that enhance learning experiences. And those innovative ideas being brought through those tools definitely add to the flavor, add to the engagement level, and it caters to the dire need of the individual learners with their personalized language practicing, probably sometimes with automated feedback. And we have plenty of resources for feedback mechanism, and it's instantaneous. You just click of a button, the learner gets to see his score, his grades, and also he can tweak and he can master some of the skills and to further add into the acquisition of the newer outcomes for achieving better results in the post feedback mechanism. So if I have to talk about what are the personalized learning experiences and collaborative tools that tailor learning experiences to meet individual students' needs, and how do they differentiate the instructions, the material, the projects. It could be project-based learning, it could be the individual learners having his own goal objectives to achieve in the long run with the passage of time. It could be any semester system, or so it enables educators to provide support that aligns with each learner's pace and style. As we know that every individual learner, they have their own competence levels, their own level of grasping things, also grappling with the challenges that come to the scene while dealing with the process of language acquisition, whether it's in the spoken field or writing skill development, whether it's about immersion and also about learning the linguistic repertoire. So it definitely keeps pace with, also modifies the pace, and it allows to change the style of learning and facilitate real-time feedback on the key strengths and also the lacuna, come some of the weaknesses. And that weakness could be the weakness of simple vocabulary, bank lexicology, and the language usage could be the linguistic challenges of not knowing the familiarity of the words, or even the learner's lexis range can be very limited. So you may not understand the reading text, and his engagement levels dips down. It's also demotivating. It affects the intrinsic or extensive level of motivation. So these tools help educators adjust, like we educators, we can adjust our teaching strategies swiftly without wasting any time to address students' needs effectively. Encourages collaboration learning among peers, whether it's a physical classroom environment where students are seated next to each other, they can form pair or groups, and collaborative AI fosters an environment where students can work together, sharing their ideas, engaging in peer learning. I mean, those we might say that those are the top achievers or low engagement level learners. So they may not hijack the entire team, but they will definitely have an indelible mark and will facilitate. So he can be made a leader of the group, a facilitator. And this interaction not only builds language skills, but also promotes critical thinking, because the learners may not have effective filter. He may come up with his impediments, obstacles to learning, and he gets to learn the problem solving abilities through teamwork. Sometimes we may not get at the right idea, the right kind of approach, and we may have to alter our approach. And the best thing about these tools are that they engage all the learners at the same time, at the same level, and also cater to the differentiated learning styles. Some of learners may be visual, tactiles, or can be really, he can be shy, may not participate in the language acquisition process, discussion board, may have problems with brainstorming, probably because of the L1 interference. So the best thing about these diverse learning styles can be catered to, can be addressed, and they can accommodate various learning styles, ensuring that visual, those who like to see the graphs, charts, also the images, and they feel good reaching and also connecting or identifying and personalizing with the visuals. There are some other guys, they feel good by listening, and there could be auditory, so podcasts kind of things, also taped, recorded things, speech to text, or text to speech, vice versa. Kinesthetic learners can all benefit from tailored resources, and this versatility, that means it's not one size fits all. It caters to the need of every single individual, and that too is not in the monolingual but also in the multilingual classrooms, in diverse student backgrounds. Students may come from sometimes natives or non-natives, or maybe not so exposed to the digital environment, immersive environment, may come from the under-resourced learning, poor acquisition environment, we'll call. So these tools, they really help out those learners in the real sense, in the actual time frame, without having to tackle the problem of for the educator teachers to cut and dry and then modify and then have plenty of hours to spend on modifying the tasks. And it's not possible humanly in the classroom, the physical environment, to customize the tasks for each learner, the differentiated approach. The recent trends and also researches in AI integration ELT have shown signs of great improvement. The growing adoption of AI tools in transforming English language teaching, enhancing engagement and personalized learning. So roughly, it may not be well validated in all learning scenarios, but roughly it hovers around the average. 70% of educators using AI tools in classroom, they have shown to have larger, greater, longer engagement, increase in students in AI assisted learning, and even the adoption of these tools. In fact, most of the classroom and education environment, learning environment, worldwide institutions have adopted these tools in the classrooms. And it's a common adoption process. Everybody holds handheld devices like iPad, can be mobile phones or projector. Also, some of the platforms which come handy, whether it's even the WhatsApp can be used for language learners, preferring AI-driven platforms. AI-driven platforms are so many these days that even unsubscribed tools come handy, and they're really robust and powerful. Today itself, I've heard about that Gemini has come with 3.0, which is by far the most robust platform for deep thinking. Also changing from the text to images to explanation. Then it gives gravity, like it takes the whole world into your pocket, and you can identify yourself as if you are there, being there in the immersive environment. So it's a very powerful tool for learners. And these AI-driven platforms, whether it's ChatGPT or these, come as a scaffolding. They prepare the heavy lift is done by these, and they prepare the learners very well to come up with their process writing, or could be the improvement of the pronunciations or accent training. These kind of things we have so many tools too. So obviously these percentages are clearly indicative of the fact that worldwide education technological tools have been integrated into the ALT world. Likewise in the other domains, the other interdisciplinary, whether it's science or so. It's everywhere. The adoption rate is going higher, and there are certain challenges in adapting policy for AI integrations, and I'm also going to talk about these challenges. In adaptation, these challenges in the policies could be like lack of training for educators. It can be not everybody and all institutions of traditional approaches, indulging in traditional approaches, they may not be really prepared for the adoptions or transitioning to the digital landscape or adoption of the AI tools and implements in one go unless they have a proper adoption techniques. And so it's really, many educators feel actually unprepared to begin with if they haven't been oriented or they have not had any other chance of getting the workshop or feedback and comprehensive training programs. So there is a need of comprehensive training programs for those early adopter technology, which hinders the ability to integrate these technologies. The technologies are really robust, and there are so many and have been deployed all around, world over. So institutions are all out. It's like digital shopping these days, and they want the teachers to harness these technology by deploying and adopting the teaching practices. So continuous professional development is essential to build confidence and competence in utilizing AI in the classroom. Another major teething issue could be the ethical concern. That's what we are really worried about, because learners, they are made to agree to give their consent for the usage of these tools, and they have to be grown-ups and adult members, 16 or 18 plus. So we have ethical concern in the sense that they have to agree to share their private information apart from their email information. So it's sometimes erodes and crutches, and the data privacy and consent are not really transparent and ambiguous, and we have to accept them. So educators and we have to be at the forefront with the human insight and our oversight, because we teachers, we can encourage them to go for judicious applications, also be wary of where they are giving more they are not in control of the basic rights. Educational institutions must navigate the challenges to ensure the student data is protected. The protection comes from various sources. Protection can be, don't go for taking all the choices we make, and we can also block, and we can choose what to go for, what not to go for. And we can have a clear-cut, transparent policy from the tech companies to be followed, and also the governmental supervisions and mandatory kind of surveillance from the government in them, and keep an eye on that if they're being deployed in institutions. Like Google has come up with loads of preconditioning, and they always are very clear about that, what kind of data is being stored in the chat history, what kind of data is temporary. Like in Gemini 3, we have options of temporary history, and you can delete it anytime, and it's not going to store them. You can access them if you want to. So that's a real concern. The next, the concern is of resistance to change in traditional teaching methods. Many of the teachers and teacher educators, they stay immune to the updated changes in the AI-driven technological world, and adoption. The worst thing about adoption is that they are really skeptical about, and they think that is going to jeopardize or mar the prospects of learning, and it's a serious affront to their being the repository of all knowledge so far. Because in the traditional sense, teachers, educators, they are looked forward to as if they are the penultimate source of information, and all kinds of instructions to be given. So this kind of resistance can be met by winning the confidence, the trust of those traditionalists, the old school teachers and educators. And overcoming their resistance is like, we can woo them, we can tempt them, we can show them how it works, how it really saves our time, our efforts, how it helps us with burnout, and plenty of hours, and not to be wasted in repetitive tasks that we are always worried about. If we can have our own workspaces where we can have our own collaborative platform and projects where we can minimize, we can have a bank where all the colleagues can be, can join hands, and they can collaborate, to share, to think, and to come up with projects which can be used open-mindedly and with flexibility. So AI resources, obviously any technological transitioning requires a lot of funding, and those tools come not just for a petty price. Sometimes we need a substantial investment in technology infrastructure, especially when we are moving from traditional classrooms to digitized world. AI-led tools to be implemented. So insufficient funding can limit the ability of education institutions to acquire necessary resources for effective AI integration, which can hinder progress. And if we cannot adopt the technology with the pace they are moving, we'll be left behind, and there's no point in staying on lagging behind. So in order to be right beneficiary, we need to adopt this technology in the real time with the updated versions and with all kinds of support from not just the institution, but also parents. I would include parents also. So key considerations for policy framing: when you're framing a policy, how fast, how long, and how we can stay funded or grounded, or can stay secure in our approach. So inclusivity is the key in AI tools, because it cuts across the boundaries of level and age and demography or geographical features or learning styles and all that. So it includes everybody at one go, and it's really inclusive, and it should be inclusive. It should cater to the needs of all kind of customers, clients needed. So the other important thing is that teacher, educator, and all the instructors, or those who are wanting to promote avenues of instant learning, good learning, learnability, we need to train ourselves first. So continuous professional development through maybe in-house or webinar, workshops, symposiums, seminars, attending, by presenting, by hobnobbing with all the professionals in our ELT world. For me, it's all about English language teaching world and ELT world. So we have to keep in touch. We have to stay connected. So connectivity is very important, because these technologies and tools can transfer from one individual to the community to the society, and then world at large. So every institution has its own education standards and needs to be aligned. And alignment comes from cultural specific, from our curriculum-based syllabi. Every institution has a syllabi as a goal, an agenda, objective to fulfill within the time frame. So we need to include the framework in accordance with our objectives and curriculum, so that we get the best out of this. If I have to talk about in favor of this adaptation technology integrations, there are some case studies here which shows how successfully these studies have been deployed, and the case study focuses on ESL initiative in diverse urban school district. I'm not talking about countryside because we don't have enough of case studies about them. But these urban schools districts have implemented AI tools to enhance language acquisition, and it has shown tremendous positive signs. The program utilized AI-driven language learning applications, and there are so many, like, we can talk about at length about all those language learning applications. Duolingo is one. We have Kahoot, quizzes, and we have Diffet, we have TUI, and these are the online applications. They customize, they prepare the learners with all the kinds of tasks for reinforcement learning, and also it creates personalized learning pathways for each individual, resulting in a 40% increase in student proficiency scores within one academic year. So this is profound, and this is quite commendable that 40% increase has been noticed in the proficiency score, where implementation has been really, really successful. There are worldwide cases. There still needs to gather data, and researches are going on, and we don't have exactly, because this technology implementation is perplexing. It's so advanced and so rapid that we're hardly able to keep pace with these data collections and all that. But whatever the early signs show that the acquisition has been very successful. And if I have to talk about how, could these technologies be deployed, harnessed, taken mileage of, capitalized upon? So some of the strategy teacher educator could be a structured approach to enhance the integration, ESL. Structured approach means we divide them into chunks, segments, and we target them. At the outset, we can have training workshops. Now, how can we have training workshop? It could be those our peers or colleagues who are better off or more versed in or better into technological field. They could train us, and they could share their own experiential learning through applications, and all those necessary skills can be transferred to those early adopters or those who are novices. I'll call them novices, inexperienced people. So they can utilize with the help of those who are better off, or those who are more experienced, or those who can manage technology deftly, or those who have been exposed to. There are people from computer science department and computer programmers and technological. So LMS, like learning management systems can be used to train them in the real time, maybe the synchronous manner or asynchronous manner. Both modes will work for training. Collaborative project, as I mentioned before, these design projects encourage educators to work together. These collaborative projects can be handled. There could be an admin. There could be those guys who are well exposed to this technology. They could take up as admin. They can invite as collaborators. Now we have team GPT teamwork. We have all kinds of workplaces design, even the Google Slides, Google Workplace. We have workplaces in Team, Microsoft, Google, ChatGPT, and GitHub. So those stations can be used for collaborative experience and integrations into curricula. So these collaborative projects come handy, and it's there to be shared in the real time 24/7. So support network, establish a community of practice. That means just by creating the workplace or project won't work. We need to start a community who are like-minded, who are really into the field of technological advancement. They can start practicing, and we can seek guidance from each other. We can share resources, because resources will be there all the time to be shared, and this collaboration can be fostered around AI integration. Once we integrate all of these, the collaboration begins a piece of cake. It's very easy to collaborate in the right time, in the right. So what are the educators' perspective on AI integration? I mean, what do the educators think about this kind of integrations and worldwide? How we can think of the differences of opinion, also how we can think of the varying perspectives or perceptions. And I say some of our educators, they have perceptions. The thing that in our traditional classroom scenario, these AI integrations is impossible. We can never have this kind of but once we get into the idea of practical training, resource mobilization, and then start integrating one by one with the help of the workstations and collaborative project, there will be some of the naysayers or skeptics who would start believing in the efficacy, and they will come to realize that these are not just from the words of mouth, the practical applications, and it can be done